This is a Corvette-powered family sedan that almost nobody knows about, and at first glance, you would probably completely ignore it. This is the Chevy SS. It looks like a slightly angrier Chevy Malibu, but underneath that boring four-door body is one of the coolest performance sedans America has ever sold. Because this thing is hiding a 6.2-liter V8 under the hood, and not just some random truck motor. This is the LS3, a version of the same engine you could find in the C6 Corvette. From the factory, the Chevy SS makes 415 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque, sends all of it to the rear wheels, and can hit 60 miles per hour in around 4.5 seconds. In a car that looks like something your dad would drive to work. And somehow, that is only the beginning, because the Chevy SS isn't really an American Chevy underneath. It's Australian. The car is based on the Holden Commodore, built in Australia, shipped across the world, given Chevy badges, and sold in America as the SS. And that explains why this thing feels so different from a normal Chevrolet sedan. But Chevy didn't just throw a big engine into a normal family car and call it finished. The SS came with Brembo brakes, magnetic ride control, rear-wheel drive, performance suspension, and eventually you could even get one with a 6-speed manual transmission. Chevy was selling this in the mid-2010s, while basically everybody else was killing off manual transmissions. That alone makes this thing ridiculous. But now let's make it even better. Let's mod it. Start with long tube headers, then give it a better intake, throw in a cam, and finish everything off with a proper tune. That's it. You can wake the LS3 up dramatically without even opening the bottom end. Depending on the setup, you're now looking at a Chevy SS making well over 500 horsepower at the crank, naturally aspirated. But the scary part is that 500 horsepower isn't even close to the limit, because this is an LS, and everybody knows what happens when the internet gets access to an LS. You can add a supercharger, you can turbocharge it, you can run E85, you can upgrade the fuel system, and suddenly that innocent-looking family sedan is making 600, 700, or even more horsepower while still having 4 doors. But here's the crazy part. Basically, nobody bought it. When Chevy introduced the SS in America, they barely marketed the thing. There wasn't some gigantic advertising campaign telling everybody that Chevy had just imported a rear-wheel drive V8 performance sedan from Australia. And that's exactly what happened. Only around 12,000 Chevy SS sedans were sold in the United States, which is absolutely nothing compared to cars like the Mustang, Camaro, or Dodge Charger. But now that nobody can buy a new one anymore, everybody suddenly wants one, especially the manuals. Because think about what you're getting. A naturally aspirated 6.2-liter V8, rear-wheel drive, 4 doors, an available manual transmission, Brembo brakes, magnetic suspension, and enough space to actually use the thing every day. What modern car gives you that combination anymore? Even the interior is surprisingly usable. You've got heated and ventilated front seats, a heads-up display, plenty of space in the rear, a large trunk, and enough comfort to drive the thing every single day without feeling like you're sitting inside a stripped-out race car. Is the interior insanely luxurious? No. And the infotainment definitely shows its age now. Fuel economy is also exactly what you'd expect from a giant, naturally aspirated V8 sedan. Terrible. But nobody is buying an LS3-powered Chevy because they're worried about saving $3 at the gas station. And now they're becoming harder to find. Prices have stayed surprisingly strong. Clean examples still bring serious money, and manual cars are becoming even more desirable. So the boring Chevy sedan everybody ignored when it was new is slowly turning into a collector car, which honestly makes sense, because we're probably never getting something exactly like this again. A naturally aspirated V8, rear-wheel drive, 4 doors, and a manual transmission. The Chevy SS might look like a Malibu, but underneath, this thing is basically an Australian muscle car with Corvette DNA. Anyway, would you daily one, or throw boost at it and turn it into the ultimate sleeper?